Welcome to Wild Breakaway with Wes Walz. I'm Audra Martin. Game 2 of the home and home series with the Dallas Stars goes to the Stars tonight on the road for the Minnesota Wild. Not only do they lose out on 2 potentially huge points, but they also potentially lose out on having Ryan Suter out on the ice. A tough injury, had to get helped off of the ice, didn't return, and now it's just going to be very interesting to see what happens with him going forward. Yeah,
that's kind of the talker of the game. Obviously, I think going into the game, a lot of people around the National Hockey League probably thought the Dallas Stars would just roll over. They looked like when they Wild beat them a couple nights ago in St. Paul that they were not going to make the playoffs. Great push by the Dallas Stars. I thought they played really, really well. The Wild in this game here tonight, specifically the first 2 periods, the first 30 minutes did not have the urgency and the jump that they have had in the past. And that really caught up to them. I thought they had played great in the 3rd period, but it was too little too late. They were not able to dig their way out of that 3-0 hole and subsequently come up a little bit short.
The lone goal of the night comes from Zach Parise, his 10th of the season. Here's the look at the rest of those final stats. Dallas wins the shot battle. Minnesota 1 for 3 on the power play, and a good thing tonight, that's 5 straight games now the Minnesota Wild have not given up a power play goal. So great things coming from the penalty kill. But again, another big injury for the Minnesota Wild, something unfortunately they're used to dealing with this season.
Next guy up, well, he's got it. Look, you would have thought that for a while that we added Pross, we added Murph, and we added Sealer, and you're probably saying the same thing when we add them. Holy moly, how are you going to do it? And yet we've had our best goals against in the last 15, 20 games. I mean, defensively, so we'll just have to do it. I mean, it's just you have no. There's no crying about it. It just has to get done.
So here's a look at what's next for the Wild. It's the final home game of the season, and that's against the Edmonton Oilers on Monday. Then they will head out west for that final road trip of the season. The Edmonton Oilers, we know that what they're capable of with Connor McDavid on the ice. Now the Minnesota Wild, potentially with a huge loss injury-wise. They need to take advantage of facing the Edmonton Oilers, a very beatable team, and pick up the 2 points that they would have loved to have tonight.
Yes, they're a beatable team, but if they want to beat the Edmonton Oilers Monday night, it's all about stopping Connor McDavid. He's the hottest player in the National Hockey League, has jumped up and has taken the lead for the most points in the National Hockey League. He's got 15 goals in his last 17 games, 32 points, I believe, in his last 15 or 16 games. By far the hottest player in the National Hockey League. Right now would not get my vote for the MVP of the National Hockey League. Doesn't do enough good things defensively, but there's no denying that he's the most dangerous hockey player offensively in the National Hockey League and has played well against the Minnesota Wild. So that's going to be the key. And like you mentioned, without having Ryan Suter in the lineup, we're not sure if he's going to play Monday night. Did not look good. The way he went off the ice, that's going to put a lot of onus on guys like Jonas Brodin and Matt Dumba to step up and play well with Jared Spurgeon and Ryan Suter out of the lineup. But last game of the season for the Minnesota Wild Monday in St. Paul. It's going to be a fun one.
It will be a fun one. We'll see if the Wild can turn it into 2 big points, an inch closer to locking in another trip to the postseason. It should be a good atmosphere. Finale at home, always. We look forward to seeing many of you at the Xcel Energy Center. If not, we'll see you back here on Fox Sports North in a few nights. In the meantime, for Wes Walz, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on Wild Breakaway.